Verizon numbers, as we saw this week, weren't looking too pretty in terms of the earnings. Would this tie-up be helpful? Would Charter cure their ills?
Well, the tie-up with Charter wouldn't cure the ills of the wireless business, which is having some issues. Their competitors are offering unlimited plans, and Verizon has resisted that, probably because they have 100 million customers, and it's unclear if the network could handle that type of usage. So buying Charter, and people have talked about some of the fiber that they have and adding 5G, that's in a section of the market. It's unclear how high quality the assets are that Charter has that would enable 5G versus perhaps Comcast, who has much better, I think, fiber investments have made historically. So it doesn't really shore up anything. It just kind of adds a different business and one that obviously generates its own free cash flow.
I think what's interesting here is we're starting to see perhaps a division in the ranks of what the best tactic is for the future. You've got AT&T and Time Warner saying content is king, and here we seem to see a deal that wants the infrastructure, but you're saying the infrastructure isn't really up to much.
Well, for a while, the CEO of Verizon, Lowell McAdams' strategy was go all wireless, and they were shedding a lot of this fixed stuff. And then all of a sudden, you have this issue where maybe wireless is not the best thing or the only thing for them to do. So there seems like there's a lot of pressure on the company in order to make some type of changing transaction for them. I think your own Bloomberg's own Alex Sherman talked today about them looking at 10 companies. That makes a lot of sense to us, where basically they've got issues in the wireless business. There's a whole host of companies that they're looking at. And now with the new administration, there tends to be this anything goes mentality where you can really perceive of any type of transaction at this point, it seems like, right?
Maybe not an AT&T Time Warner one if we're to believe Trump for the time being, but what about the 10 other companies that Verizon could be looking at? Who would be a good fit in your point of view?
Well, if they're interested in fiber, then Zayo, which has 116,000 fiber route miles, would make a lot more sense. If they want to actually fix their wireless business or have enough capacity and hurt T-Mobile's ability to get capacity, then they should buy Dish. If they want to get content, maybe they should look at Disney. If they want to diversify the slowing business that they have and get more slowing businesses and more diverse, maybe they should look at Vodafone. I mean, there's so many different options that I think Verizon could look at going forward here. The fact that they're talking to Charter is I think it's interesting. It's not really surprising given the challenges that they face. And the bigger question then is for Comcast: if we are in anything goes environment, why shouldn't Comcast also be looking at Charter? And maybe this whole conversation with Liberty is just Liberty saying to Comcast, hey, why don't you guys come and take a look at us before this spectrum auction is over and really all these deals start to gather some pace.
So regulatory hurdles, are you foreseeing fewer amid this new administration, or is the land not quite clear yet?
The land is not clear. Look, DOJ theoretically should have major issues with a Sprint T-Mobile transaction, and yet the market seems to think with great confidence that transaction can get done. On the FCC side of things, with Ajit Pai as our new chairman of the FCC, I think the perception is probably rightly that there's not going to be as much problem with transactions or the FCC using the power they have to evaluate these things based on the public interest. But look, the DOJ is a methodical type of organization, so we're skeptical that if Sprint T-Mobile actually tried it, that they'd be successful. But hey, look, if we're wrong and the market's right, then again, why shouldn't Comcast be looking at Charter right now?
So is there one bet to be placed on, and that's on the growing excitement of M&A bankers in telecoms and media? Is this the way it's going to go, more M&A for 2017? I
mean, 2017, it seems like all of these companies are gearing up. And again, Zayo is interesting on the fiber side. But the one company that seems to benefit in all of this is T-Mobile. I mean, T-Mobile is unaffiliated. They're controlled by Deutsche Telekom. There are a variety of bidders that would be interested in that T-Mobile asset. And certainly if T-Mobile got bought, that would have positive implications for Dish, because Dish has a lot of that spectrum, which is good capacity that T-Mobile could use to continue that a growth trajectory that's really just unmatched in the world right now as far as revenue growth and EBITDA growth. No one's really growing faster than T-Mobile right now.